We back, and we ain't got no music issues. So screw Warner for cutting us off last time. I don't mean that, Warner. I don't mean that. I might need y'all to cut me and my baby a check one of these good days. I don't want y'all pulling up no footage from remember back in February of 2024 when you said screw Warner. Nah, nope, nope, nope. Nah, against myself today. All right, we are back. Last week, a couple questions kind of got diverted, so to speak, due to the musical rights issues. A lot of the stuff was muted in a lot of countries and areas, so nobody really got to hear the show. So we'll probably run that episode, that topic back next week or so. Who knows? But for now, we already have a topic for today, what we want to talk about, what we're going to get into. It's a pretty good one as well. So before we get into all that, Miss Anonymous Rose, you want to say anything to anybody?
Hey, y'all. Just checking in real quick on this good hair Sunday. How y'all doing?
Let me share my thing on here.
Giving it a second for everybody to kind of tap in, hop on here. We live on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Why? Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna be talking about how did we get here, and here being the relationship dynamic between man and woman.
Yes.
Y'all know where we at right now. Don't nobody trust nobody. Don't nobody like nobody. It's real ugly right now.
But first, real quick, because TikTok is new to this, right? So we gotta break down what a couple questions is. So what is a couple questions?
A couple questions is the only place on the internet where how you feel does not change what's real, and it's where men and women figure it out together. Whatever it may be. It could be political, it could be relationships, it could be celebrity news. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about it and discuss it together and get the male and female perspective and put them in the one, or maybe we can get a holistic view of it when we stop chopping it up and saying she sees it this way and he sees it that way. You know?
Exactly. So make sure that you guys are sharing the live. Make sure that you like the live and show us some love. And also tune in Sundays. Are we just doing this for February? Or we gonna continue this on? All right, so we're gonna keep it going. But we, this is Black History Month. We do a Black History edition. And who better to talk to your people than your people to talk to your people, right? Because we always have outside sources that we look to, and sometimes it's just better to just kind of let's talk to each other. We can figure it out. We just need to talk about it. Use the right amount of emotion and logic to get the question solved. Instead, and not looking from just one side of the coin, looking from both sides, right? So that's what couple questions is, y'all. Okay, that's what it is. And
okay, I'm sharing.
What's the first question?
I'm sharing.
You sharing?
Yeah, I'm fully sharing.
Awesome.
All right, so the first piece of this puzzle is defining relationships.
Defining relationships.
Yes, defining relationships. Basically saying, what does it even mean to be in a relationship?
Well, first, to me, a relationship when I was coming up was a shifting relationship. So, as far as
who told
you? I did. That's why I said growing up.
Okay.
Growing up.
Okay.
Growing up. That was me growing up, right? So growing up, it was a shift that you relation on with somebody, special of the opposite sex or the same sex. Doesn't matter, we got a lot of things we identify as now. So whatever you identified as, it was on a ship and it was together with somebody. Okay. Now growing up, realizing that relationships are about connection. It can be whether it's a business, family, in love, parental. All of these different things relate to a relationship, right? So, like what we like to do, right? Because we'll talk about what it means, but we'll also identify what it actually is.
Because see, what something is what something means are two different things.
Yes.
Because like we can both look at something and say, well, that is this. But what it means to you and what it means to me,
it could be two totally different things.
Exactly. So we go into both parts.
So, dictionary says that relationship is defined as the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. So, I was like, on the basis about connectivity, about your connection, so that's what it is.
So, I want to go into where did we learn the concept of relationship? Like for some people it could be parents seeing how their mother and father or whoever relate to each other. For some it was television, seeing how what generation.
I was gonna say if you go back in
my generation, you're gonna get the Cosby Show, you're gonna get the Huxtables and Family Matters and that kind of fresh. So you get like an actual structure. You get to see a family relating. The closer we get to the modern time, that kind of went away a little bit in media. So where do you think people nowadays get their ideas of what a relationship is supposed to look like?
Social media. Wow. Automatically. If we're going to talk about 2024, then it's definitely social media, because a lot of us are on social media. Shout out to those that aren't not watching this, so you're not even in tune with what's going on the internet. But a lot of us do get that from social media, scrolling what we see, influencers, people that we fall in love with, watching and tracking their everyday experiences while they're together. Some of y'all kind of model your relationship expectations off of what you see and not what exactly it is. So that's where I think it comes from.
And feel free, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Twitch, Instagram, we're on all of them right now. So feel free to chime in and let us know where you think the concept or people's idea of relationships come from. Now you said social media. So do you think that those ideas that they have are realistic or no? TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you think those ideas are realistic as far as so then how?
And I only say that because niggas be having money and some niggas don't be having money. So what like it depends. Okay, if that's the case, you're gonna have to ask the question, when did relationships become material? When did it go from just being in love and being connected to someone versus it was all about materials? It's all about what a person can give and do for you. When did it go from being unconditional to conditional?
Is this for Black history?
From then to now.
So this is for our people?
Yeah.
Because
we can go in general.
I would say that for us it's more specific because
we can talk about Black love.
Material. We didn't always have material possessions.
Exactly.
In that sense. So, at what point did we gain a foothold, so to speak, in the material world? Will probably be the same point that material values began to trump love, respect, honor, and things of that nature.
Lindo said yes and no. What you mean by that? What you mean by that, homie? Let me see if anybody talking on TikTok. Make sure you guys are tapping, like in the live, sharing the live. Tune in. We take all comments and questions.
Hey, TikTok world, I'm new to y'all. How y'all doing?
Yes, this is my husband.
My TikTok world.
My baby. So if we're gonna focus on Black love because it is Black History Month, let's focus on that. A lot of it's a little difficult because a lot of the things that I would say that we did know or were used to doing was stripped away from us. Okay. And we were given a whole new way of understanding how to love and how to connect, and especially being in an environment where you weren't allowed to. You had to find out different ways, the deeper ways of connectivity. Peace, Randolph. What's going on, man? So like you'd have to find different ways of connectivity. Now, post pre-slavery is what I would call it. I call it pre-slavery, and then you got post-slavery, right? So pre-slavery is 5 times out of 10 tradition. I mean, like that's where most things come from, the togetherness of polygamy or polyamory, depending on power, religion, structure, finance status. And then you get post where things change and they literally strip you of everything. So if polygyny was our based way as Black melanated people, then our corruption would be monogamy. That's how it would be seen. Now, however, people have a choice and choose what they choose, because either way, divinely, we showed up together. Right. So it was just me and you when we showed up.
Right.
All right. And then other people, they showed up with other people. 2, 3, 4, or 5. And on that, being about togetherness, going from togetherness to seclusion, going from respect to domination, or dominance, going from we respect each other to patriarchal system where men get the respect.
I would say going
and that's just from pre to post slavery. Now we can move forward, but it'll change a little bit after that.
Well, for me, it's because we're in 2024, right? You went all the way back to
yeah, we gonna go back.
But there's a lot in between.
Of course. We said from then to now, so we get to spend the time and work it up. How we went from.
Which way are we going? Are we going from?
We started then, so we did from pre to post.
Okay, so in that regards, then we're going from living to survival.
Gotcha. Okay, I like that better. So when we were living versus survival.
Because I would say that as far as the Black woman first, right? She had to go into survival mode, right? Prior to slavery and things of that nature. She saw her man as a very high stature individual, right? Until this other man came and showed her that her man ain't shit, in essence, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, what is she going to do?
She's going to lead to the
one with actually in power.
Yeah.
Is she wrong for that?
No, because naturally that's her base. That's that, and I hate that. Nowadays, it's definitely different, because you have to understand we're in the future now. We're in 2024 AD. So understanding that the basic necessities of a woman back then and the basic necessities of a woman now, due to environment and societal structure, totally different. So we can cut the independent crap because that didn't exist then. We're talking about then. We'll work our way up now to the strong, independent Black woman. But now we're talking about just the basic necessities of providing security, protection. That was it. That was basic. Because she was a hunter-gatherer, he was a warrior. You both get captured, you get stripped of your titles, you get stripped of your power, and then she becomes the one that's in power because she's needed most because of the nurturing, right? Because of the desire, right? And because a nation rises no higher than its woman. So if I can keep you and your man down, right, and that imposes an emotional distress on you, then the nation can't rise no higher than where you're at emotionally. So now I've taken him from you, I've belittled him, I've made him run, sold him off, sold your kids off. You had more kids trying to marry again and sold them off.
The ones that slave masters did find appealing, attractive, desirable, they showered them with gifts.
Model Citizen J says, peace. He says she isn't wrong because we have to survive, but once you realize the system is rigged, we have to make the adjustments to get things back in order. You're right. Peace, D. What's going on? Agree. I definitely agree. You have to travel back in order to work it forward. And I think a lot of the times when we get into this from then to now conversations and you look at these different podcasts, they're only based on now. They're not looking at
how we got here,
the infrastructure of how we got here, and understanding that, current terms, we are to blame for our choices. But if the environment was already set up for us to fail and not succeed in this manner, then who really is the cause? So yeah, when you look at it back then, all right, so then it becomes now I just want you to stay. Because now after slavery we're free, a lot of women and a lot of men too. They went
is I mean very loose term.
Legality.
We weren't on the plantation anymore.
In American terms.
We were laid off.
I'm not dealing with him, y'all. I'm not dealing with him.
No severance pay. No watch. She didn't get a pink slip or nothing. Just
not a I'm sorry.
You ain't got to go back to Africa, but you got to get the hell off my plantation. How you was saying?
But I need that water, man. Like every time. All right. So as I was saying, so now you get you're free, right? And you go and you look for those counterparts, and some of them were not able to find those said counterparts, which triggers abandonment in relationship issues, right? Because that's a person that you were supposed to be with and be connected to, but either one, they're missing, two, they're dead, unalived, or three, they found somebody else. They married off, started a whole nother family, bought land, horses, all of that, right? Everything that y'all dreamed of when y'all was in that little hut on the plantation. He went and got it with somebody else, and she went and got it with somebody else, and changed their name and all of that, right? So now you think now this is instilling an even deeper trauma, because I thought we were in this together, and then I realized no, we're not. Now I gotta get out here and figure out how to start over. Some of them went back to the plantation, got jobs. Others went on and started their own thing, and then others, 9 times out of 10, was just like, bro, I'll be on the streets. It all depends. It's a gray area there, but a lot happened, right, in order to cause distrust. And outside of that, when they freed us, they had to set even stricter laws, which causes hardship, economical hardship.
So now we're in the Jim Crow.
Now, there we go. Now you see where we're at.
I'm just marking them at the time that she goes, boom, Jim Crow. All right, here we go. Now we're in Jim Crow.
Now, the aspect, where would you say the aspect of the man and woman lies in that era?
In the Jim Crow era?
Mm-hmm.
A stronger sense of togetherness, actually. The need for each other was more prevalent, because you might go home. I mean, you might leave the house and might not make it back home because they had the lynchings going on at the time.
Yeah.
The police forces were just now being established. So with the watchmen and things of that nature. So like safety and security and all that was a big thing during the Jim Crow era. So we had to be together, basically. So I would say that we were much tighter then, especially more so than now. Much tighter then, more so than now. So, all right, so Jim Crow, where we at after that?
So you're saying so Jim Crow, we get together, start loving on each other, building our own. Actually, now there's a potential for people to be financially stable. We got 2 kids, 2-parent homes, cars, vehicles, happiness, right?
Now keep in mind, keep in mind that we're kind of like darting through it. There's a lot of like details that matter, that play roles into what happened and how it happened.
Yeah.
For instance, with the whole freeing us thing, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you mentioned the financial stability, stuff like that. The Union, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole issue with slavery, was either keep slavery or keep the Union.
Yeah.
And the Union was formed because of skilled minorities who were coming off of plantations into workforces with more skills than white men, Caucasian men. What word do y'all use on TikTok?
We use Mayo Safety, envelope.
So those words,
whitey.
We were more skilled than those people, and in order to preserve their jobs, in order to secure what they had, they created the union, and blocked us and everybody else out of it. And you had to keep the president had to keep slavery or keep the union, and he chose to keep the union. Thus, slavery became abolished. That's the short version of that. But I say all that to say that about the financial stability part, because we were not a part of the union, we still found a way to have our own cab systems services, have our own carpentry services, have our own everything, and they began to then destroy those. So
it was coming together a little too fast for them.
It was coming together, period. One thing I need, one thing I need y'all to fully understand is it was never in the card for people who look like you and I to be self-sufficient on this land. Right. It wasn't part of the plan, not then or now. So anytime, like, it's my thing. All right, you don't want us, you can't have slavery. You don't want us to be near you, segregation and all that. All right, cool, we'll deal with that. But now we can't even have our own. So we can't be a part of yours, and we can't have our own. But we can't leave because we need our labor.
Yep.
So it sounds like you want us to still be slaves. So we can't come up. But you know what I'm saying? So
it was like, okay, so we freed y'all because it was throwing the country into economic distress, right?
The North told the South, like, hey man, say man, y'all make a little too much money down there, bro. We can't really tax that. And the South is like, hey man, say man. It's like a personal problem, man. It's like a me problem. Look, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do something about that, homie. And North said, we're gonna do something about it. Civil War.
And did.
Civil War. You know, so it's like we have never really been able to establish our own as a people. Now, over time, we've been allowed to be individually successful. You know, and in that individual success, we went and then most successful people went and mocked the slave master,
of course,
and because that was their idea of what a successful person looked like, and that's how successful people treated their partner. To bring it all back to what we're talking about, which is from then to now and relationship dynamics. So when you're dealing with Black people who have become somewhat financially successful in America, a lot of their characteristics and a lot of their values are mirrored in the liking to the Mayo Sapiens. The Mayo Sapiens.
And let's understand this. That the Mayo Sapien cultural aspect, it wasn't wrong, because it's the basis of every culture to be family based, right? To be together, to have a mom and a dad in the house, and have equity and credit and this and that, right? Because that's the way of America. So you're not just like, we took it and made it something a whole lot deeper than just using it for the game and the blueprint and then taking it and making it our own. Now we are taking it and making it our own. But then we went right by the book. And if we went right by the book, then it automatically caused separation between our own people, right? So now it's, I do for mine, and that's all we worried about is what's going on over here, right? Or you got the issue, if we're going to stay on topic with relationships, now the man is in a position of providing, right? But you watch the people that you work for, which is these higher ups, these color folk, because Black people ain't colored. Let's understand that we're melanated. It's different. These color folk, you watching how they dominate you. And you watching how you got to sit there and put up with it. And then let's say you come home and your wife is like, hey, yo, such and such, so and so and so and so and so. And you feel like as a man, you should get that same respect that you seen this other person get, right? In the outside world, when you come home and you abuse, that's where we start that. That's number one. 2, SA in family situations also ruin relationships within the Black community. If nobody talking about it and covering it up with religious purpose, that's number 2. Number 3, stepping out, having multiple families, and your partner being unaware of it. Now, then it was kind of like, do whatever you're going to do outside as long as you come home and you take care of me. Yes. But a lot of those women suffered with physical, mental, and emotional abuse, right? Dealing with other women's kids and dealing with this and dealing with that, and then having to worry about you making it home before the sunset. This is all in the same area. This is all in the same time frame, right? And then let's say if it got too much, and I hope I'm not being offensive here, but when it got too much, black men run. Black men ran. Black men ran. And who was there to pick up the slack? Who was there to pick up and offer governmental assistance? Now we're moving from Jim Crow into what, the 60s, the 70s. Yeah. Right? So now we got different programs popping up, different housing assistance,
and black
right?
leadership.
And black leadership too. Right? So we got the NAACP thriving, Black Panthers thriving, Wicked's thriving. The Bloods and the Crips were actually beneficial neighborhood policing instead of being based out of, as a gang, like they were around for reasoning, right? And not only that, we're promoting Black love. Black love was still the thing. Now, from Jim Crow until now, from Jim Crow until about the 60s and the 70s, right? Black empowerment, that's what I want to call it. Black love was still the base of everything. It was still a togetherness. It was still something that we were still pushing for until crack epidemic came in. And then
why are we jumping?
Wait, am I jumping? No, I thought that was 70s.
No,
that was 70s. Because that was psychedelics. That was
crack,
poppers.
Crack is the 80s. First of all, crack is definitely the 80s.
Okay.
When we're dealing with the civil rights era, what you can't leave out is Hoover and COINTELPRO and all the things that aligned with that, and how they strategically and systematically disseminated every one of those groups that you just mentioned, from the Black Panthers to the Nation of Islam, to like anyone you could think of. They sent in agents, spies, all type of ways to destroy all those programs. And by 1969, damn near every leader of every organization was gone. King, Malcolm X, Allard Father, the ones who weren't gone were shot at and in silence. You know what I mean? So by 69, the civil rights whole movement was out of here, and by 70, black exploitation kicked in. Right? That came alongside your cocaine and the psychedelics and all that. But the black exploitation, that's where you get your Foxy Brown and Rudy, what's his name? Rudy Ray Moore and Petey Green and the Afro, the black, Pam Grier and all of that type of all those movies. Shaft and that whole little line, the pimp, because black people always dress nice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. We've always been like
very clean,
very upholding people.
Yeah, and they just kind of like converted the lane.
All of that.
So
anything to keep us separate, anything to keep us from coming together. And one thing that they understood was that the infrastructure of the black community rested upon a family structure, right? The mother, the father, and the child being in the home, right? But it being a healthy relationship, though, right? A healthy one, because that we can be honest about it and say that the black relationship has endured a lot. The black man has endured a lot. The black woman has endured a lot, and there's a lot of secrets. It's been
nonstop since you got here.
There's a lot of secrets and a lot of pain that we kept up in attics that has not been addressed. That probably won't get addressed.
Well, I won't say it won't be. It's just it hasn't been until recently where even having dialogue and conversations to address trauma, psychological, whatever, emotional stress amongst the black community. That's new. Like, yeah, I think we're 13 years apart, y'all. We're 13 years apart. She's born in 93. I'm born in 80, right? So in my generation, me coming up, is much different than her. For me coming up, we didn't talk about that kind of stuff. If you had problems, you was crazy. In the black community in the 80s, nah, he's special. He this, he that. Like, we didn't talk about it. Even everybody knew there was a problem. We just didn't talk about it, which developed suppressed emotions, and we became adults and then don't know how to deal with it as adults because we didn't know we weren't trained and taught how to deal with it when we were younger, right? And then these adults become parents, and then they pass that same traumatic process of coping and suppressing onto their children, and then people like you are born, and then there come a time where society is welcoming to address issues now.
Yeah,
you know, we're realizing that as a people, we have been traumatized, and we have just went on about our day as though we have not been traumatized for 400 years, right? And that takes me into our next tab, which is a 400-year abusive relationship, right? Now I have this concept where I like to equate Black people's time in America to a relationship between the man and the woman. America being the man and Black people as a whole being the woman. Now, since we have been in this relationship, we have been abused mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically. I mean, you keep on with the leads.
Biochemically.
All the leads that there are, we faced abuse in that fashion.
Thank you for sharing the live.
So if you equate that to a relationship, what woman do you know, would you even encourage to stay in a relationship where it's obvious that the abuse has reached a tipping point? And that's where we're at as Black people in America. The abuse has reached a tipping point, right? Now we're fed up.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm surprised it took this long. But we're for however long it takes, but that's how it is relationship too, right?
Yeah.
You watch a woman, she get beat up. Everybody knows the nigga ain't shit. But for some reason she won't leave. And we can't for the life of us figure out why she won't leave. Right? But she has her reasons. Black people have their reasons as to why we won't leave America alone. Not leave America because this is our land. We built it, the whole 9 yards. It's kind of stupid to leave it. But to leave America, the systematic view of it, to leave that part alone and let it fall apart the way it's falling apart. Let it. So we can build something new that actually benefits us in the long run.
I don't want to build on that because you said about the part where how you can't tell a woman when to be done.
Mm-hmm.
A man too, because men are in abusive relationships too. So we're not gonna make it biased.
Agreed.
But only that person can tell themselves when to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have to understand is that we feel as though the awakening is happening on a mass level, on a collective level, but it's not. It's happening one mind at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So with it happening one mind at a time, you got to think about it. It took us hundreds of years to get to this position. It might just take hundreds of years to undo it, or hundreds of years to put us in a new position,
Mm-hmm.
a better position.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that one by one, people are like, yeah, no, I'm done. We're good with this. We want something different. We want something better. And we start by using the platforms that we use, like internet and stuff like that, so that it definitely comes down to when are you going to be done? You know how. We always have an escape plan. We always have a plan A, B, C, D, and E. But it's also when. Because Black people are known for being able to endure a lot of pain and a lot of trauma, because that's all we've had to do is laugh it off.
Mm-hmm.
Crack a joke about it, celebrate a little bit, still get your little check every now and then. And as long as don't nobody bother you, you're fine. But however, you are still being bothered because of the environment that you live in and the societal norms that are placed upon you to abide by in this day and age of civilization. So you yourself, when we look at this relationship, a 400-year abusive relationship. Whew, what other than abuse? What do we know outside of that?
Mm-hmm.
We've never known love outside of the love we've either shown to each other or the love we've shown to ourselves. And even then, we're still developing that definition of what that even looks like.
Peace, God.
You know, mental illnesses and mental health didn't become a pressure to deal with or something to combat until what, a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like individually, people were going to therapy. Individually, people were dealing with it. But now, as a collective, we're like, hey, yo, no, go see somebody about that. Go talk about that, right? So when you look at this relationship, can you honestly blame people for staying? Can you honestly blame people for leaving? No, it's all a choice. It's all based upon where you stand at with this relationship. If you don't think this relationship means you any harm, you're going to stay in it. But if it does, you're going to leave. You're going to make a difference for yourself. You're going to try to find some type of escape route or something different to do, right? So that's where we're at with it. It's a choice. You got to make the choice yourself. You got to make the choice yourself. And yes, we can all be unified because we're all one big human family. But at the same time, we all have to be honest with ourselves about the lie that was told and the lie that still stands and the lie that built the infrastructure of the government that we're under, right? And if we don't do that, we're still going to be dealing with the same things. We're still going to be talking about who bring what to the table. We're still going to be talking about if the bill should be 50-50. We're going to be talking about flued out and swallowed up. Like, we're still gonna. I watched 27,000 people tune in on a live where two girls were arguing, but we cannot get 27,000 people to tune in and make a difference with what's going on in the Congo, with what's going on in Palestine, with what's going on in our own inner communities and our own cities, right? We can't do that just yet because we're still distracted by different things. So it's kind of like a parasite cleanse is needed, for real. A good colon cleansing is needed. Maybe she just needs to, go on a fast, a good detox, a sabbatical for about a good 400 years. Everybody just mentally leave, check out this motherfucker.
What y'all
Everybody
think? What y'all think? It's a good time. Chime in. TikTok is over here. I think Facebook is over here. Everybody else is right here. What y'all think? Where we at as a people in America, Black people, dealing with the concept of relationships, relating to each other, connecting with each other? How do we move forward?
Make sure that you guys are tapping, loving, sharing the live. Please, please, please. Last time we got up to about 10,000 likes. Let's try to hit that again. We're at 39 minutes, so let's go, TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
TikTok,
go, Facebook.
They'll let you go all damn day.
Yeah. They'll let you be on here.
All day. Yeah, so moving forward, right? So we've learned how or what relationships are, rather, from the same system that has been abusing us for the past 400 some odd years, right? Which means that in order for our relationships to have a better outcome, to have more effectiveness to them, we need to restructure and rethink what it even means to be in a relationship as Black people in America. What are we going into them seeking? What do they do for us? We need to reevaluate the whole concept of relationships in America, because everything that we base them on is come from trauma, and it's a reactionary route to what we've gone through. So we haven't, basically what I'm saying is we haven't really had the opportunity or time to make a choice just because that's what we want. You know what I mean? It's more so like, this is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta do.
Well, I will say that because then I would say then it was the one. Then it was now it's the one. Because then we were just asking for civil rights. We just wanted to be treated fair. Now we're asking for human rights.
No, I'm talking about that number between man and woman. not
Oh.
not the person.
If we gonna do that, then yeah.
What I'm saying is that we, man and woman, black people, specifically, have learned how to deal with each other from the same system that has been abusing us for over 400 years.
Yeah.
So when we deal with each other, we're dealing with each other the
In
same
level of
way.
survival,
Exactly. So we have to undo all of that.
So what do you say about this new generation? Like, you know, because a lot more millionaires are younger.
The new generation doesn't want it at all. If y'all notice, the new generation are like running from relationships.
Yeah.
Because they haven't seen them successful yet. Because what they're seeing is what I just said.
It's an unhealed product.
They themselves are products of unhealed relationships.
Yeah.
They saw either their mother was single, father wasn't around, or if they saw them stay together for the sake of the children, them. So they're really just a crutch or you see what I'm saying? So like no one is really showing you how to have a positive, effective relationship. And then you turn to television and you see what that gives you now.
Yeah, it's a
music is just over sexualized. So basically most relationships is people who end up having sex and get stuck with a baby and they gotta figure out how to deal with each other for the next 18 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they didn't plan on actually building anything together. It was a little knockoff kind of thing.
But I mean, it's like at that point, it's a fucking choice, bro. Because how long have we been taught about contraceptives? How long have we been taught about, you know, planning and making sure that you're making the smart choices and decisions? This information has been accessible for some years now.
I mean, those are the fine details. But what I'm saying is the fact that we even do that, it's a mirror of the slave master. The slave master, when he saw something he liked, what did he do? He went on knocked her off real quick. Whether he had a baby or not was irrelevant.
Yeah.
Niggas doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing. So I'm saying how we deal with each other has to be viewed through our own lens. We're not looking at each other through our own lenses. We're looking at each other through somebody else's lens. You know what I'm saying? So when a black man looks at a black woman, he doesn't see the queen or the earth or the whatever. He sees ass and titties.
Right.
Something to conquer the same way the slave master saw.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
we gotta let go of everything.
Everything. Because everything was taken away. So you got to get everything back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything was taken away, so you have to get everything back in order to actually, for me to fully appreciate you and you to fully appreciate me. We have to go back to that. I don't want to say go back.
But you can't go back.
Not necessarily
it's
go back.
It's more so just remodel it.
Yeah, you have to move forward rather to a reconnected synergy between the black man and black woman.
This just popped in my head. We have the knowledge of a relationship. We know how to relation. We still don't understand why. And I feel like once you truly understand the importance of a relationship, then you'll add more value to it. Because we can know how to do it by how people showed us to do it. Whether it's correct or incorrect, it's a way to relation, right? Whether it's positive or negative, it's still a way to relation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's why do we relate? Why do we spend the time to connect with someone and spend our lives with them and pledge ourselves to them? And what is that why? And
because
then focus on that and
your
make that
ass
important.
Wasn't supposed to be here by your goddamn self. Because listen, there's over 7 billion people on this planet. And then there's you.
Grain of sand.
One of 7 billion people. Do you really think that you're gonna achieve all that is to be achieved on your own? No, you're not.
In 2024,
you're not.
You're
not.
Outside
nobody.
Materials,
Nobody is doing nothing. Nobody is doing anything on their own. I stand on that. Prove me wrong. Nobody's doing anything on their own.
What? I'm sorry, because then you
name something you can do by yourself.
A lot of things.
What?
Earn money, sustain your living.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I mean,
you need clients for that.
Oh shit! How did I knew you was great.
You need clients for that.
You're going detail now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's all interdependent. It's all connected. There's no individualism when it comes to a people. And you as
as an individual, yes, that's what. But
you are a part. You're a piece of something bigger than yourself. We all are. And when you put all those pieces back into one pot, then we have the macro, the thing, which y'all might call God or the divine or whatever the fuck. You put it all back into one whole piece. Well, we are just fragmented portions of that one whole thing. So in order to see the whole puzzle, what you got to do? Put the pieces back together. So the more you connect with people on this planet, the more pieces are getting put back together. So the more people who have I just see people who have a lot of money but no connections, they're miserable. Yeah. People who have a lot of connections are the happiest people on the planet. You can be flat broke, but as long as you're connected, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Any and everywhere on this planet. As long as you're connected, you're good. Some places your money cannot get you in. No matter how much money you got.
Yeah. You
can't get in unless you're what? Connected. So this life is all about connectivity. I can be time. Say something nice.
Yeah, no, people joining in on live.
Oh, what's up?
Please, make sure that you guys tap that live. Look, that's what I gotta do. I gotta tap my own live and shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta add some love to it.
Yeah, so
that's okay. I got y'all.
I think that we're about to wrap this up in a minute anyway. But I think that yes, we have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
As a people, but it's not really as difficult as we make it out to be. A lot of times we make the problem to be like this external thing, and we got to go do it as opposed to just realize that it's everyday work in progress. And if you focus on each small piece every single day, then there's no need to try to hit the whole big thing at one time, because you can't hit the whole big thing at one time, because the whole big thing didn't become that at one time. It's accumulation. So we have to endure and go through this process of unlearning and then relearning, and be willing to do that. And some people are stuck in their ways. So
it's all about that person now. But I will say that I'm not against people, the new age people, taking the time to heal themselves and get themselves into a position where you can actually be beneficial in a relationship. Because sometimes people hop in relationships and baby, y'all run each other into the fucking ground because y'all didn't stop to think, okay, what do we bring to the table? Not what just you, not what just I, but how will it benefit us as a whole in this connectivity, in this relationship, you know? So,
and some people don't relate at all.
Yeah, no.
Y'all just fucking.
No.
Let's just keep it real. Y'all just fucking. And once it get old, you own to something else. Y'all don't even want to open up to nobody.
It's very sexually based, and there's more to relationships than just sex. Sexual energy is the lowest form of connectivity that there is. Yes, it is still powerful. It is not dumbed down what it actually can do in the tantrics behind it, because it's magic still. It's science that is yet to be fully explained, right? But at the same time, there's other things like communication, trust, loyalty, honesty. You know, like, come on, man. It's way deeper than just a sexual connection with somebody. And then you also have to understand the inner workings of that, because you are truly leaving yourself into someone. Women, Understand that every man you call yourself going out here to touch on and love on and F on, they leave something behind, right? I saw a guy, he had a cup. He said, man, now here's a bottle, right? All kinds of people can come and touch on this here bottle. He can wash it off, right? Wash it off, it'll be 99.9%. But if I and 50 other people keep doing this to water, you're gonna spill the water out. I need women to understand how important we are to this equation. No one's better than the other. Everybody has an important role, right? On the face of this daggone planet. But what I'm saying is that you, not only being an image of the logic, you're also the emotion, you're also the spiritual, you're also the life bearer, right? You yourself are the containments of you are important because you become that man's prized possession. You do become that man's reflection. You do become that man's all in all, his best thing, because you can give him the world. He gives you the spark and the seed to do so. And then you take that, you multiply it, and you flip it times 20. Right? Now, I'm not saying that no one is no less than important than the other, but we need each other. And if we keep on letting people touch on stuff and putting their hands and stuff, you're going to catch COVID. You're going to catch the chicken pox. You're going to catch something you can't get rid of. And then what? Now you out here 5 baby daddies in, 5 kids in, and you wondering why a man with no kids don't want to be with you. Value. And I as a woman stand by that. And y'all not gonna let me, I'm sorry. The face card never decline, honey. I got mine. All right? I ain't worried about getting y'all's and being clean while you do it. Men, your value can go down too by having too many baby mamas and too many kids you don't take care of. Peace, how are you? Your value can go down too. Value is value. Okay? So make sure that you're valuing yourself in this process. Make sure that you're forgiving yourself and you're on the journey to heal yourself. Right? So we got better, healthy relationships out here. Let's build a stronger home because that's where it starts. It starts in the home. It starts at home. It starts with what you're teaching your kids. It starts with what you were taught and unlearning that if it wasn't healthy and then learning a new way to show your babies so that they can grow up and show their babies. It's a generational thing, guys.
Yeah, so I would say that if you would like to be a part of the solution, if you have children, start showing them what a healthy relationship looks like or what it means to be in a healthy relationship. Also, what signs of unhealthy relationships, what to look out for. So when they get out there into the world, that when people start to exhibit these things, they like, uh-oh, red flag, mom told me about that, pop told me about that, so on and so forth. If you don't have children, you got nephews and nieces or any grade school age children around you, influence them in some type of way to be geared to what we want to see moving forward, right? Because that's who's going to be the one to change it.
Yes.
Not us.
Not us.
It'll be our teachings that get implemented, but ultimately it won't be us to push the button.
No,
it'll be them to be the ones to push the button, but it'll be with your information that they push the button with, if that makes sense. So get involved. Show these young men, young boys how to tie a tie. How to dress properly.
How to be sure of themselves, because right now, like the whole identity thing has become pertinent because they can't find any other way to keep us from developing ourselves. So what better way than to confuse you about who you are and what you truly stand on outside of what's shown to you and what's given to you, right? Like, what choice did you truly make for yourself and that wasn't influenced upon something else that was given to you, right? Because a lot of our core values stand on things that aren't meant for us. Let's be 100% honest.
And when it comes to the modern day, I'm very careful with how I word things. I haven't noticed yet, because I know how the world can take words and twist them. So when it comes to the modern, when it comes to the modern day acceptance of the multitude of genders that we now have in the country, I'll say this: when it comes to the children are the children, right? You can't be a trans child because you have to go from one thing to another. If you're a child, you haven't been one thing yet long enough to go to be another anything. So you have to grow up first to transfer over to something else.
You have to go through a life experience.
Let the children
be the kids,
be the children, and whatever route they're gonna take.
When they get older, when they get grown,
they're gonna take.
That's them. Let's see, Jonathan. When they get out in the world, but also so they can identify, recognize themselves as expressing or navigating unhealthily, yeah. That's all. I think the beautiful part about that is that even in that side of the community, even they're like, okay, the media's gone too far, the concept's gone too far. He says when they see it in others and themselves. Exactly. A lot of these kids are out here making decisions, and when I ask them, well, what made you make the decision? They say, I don't know. They're not certain. They're not sure. It's usually because of something that they saw, right? It's usually because of something that was given to them. So if you're not giving the right things, they're only going to have the wrong things to go off of.
And I'm not even going to go so far with right or wrong in that regard.
I'm just saying
No. I'm just saying in regards to gender identification, because people can pick and choose. Oh, you said wrong. Fuck all that. What we can say is that the children are making these decisions off what they see, not what they've been taught. So we know that visualization is real, and we know that the education is real. Both work. So if you put your education into play, you put your visualizations into play, then chances are that if their power of influence is strong enough, then your influence will hold strong as well. Now, there's no going backwards in this life, in this country, especially. So we're not going back to the binary choices that we had back in the day, or male, female. Like, we're not going backwards. So we're going into a world where there's going to be a plethora of options to choose from. So yes, your children should be aware of the world that they're going to walk into. They don't necessarily have to be guided down any particular lane, though. That makes sense. Let them go wherever they're gonna go, right? Whether it's straight, BT, whatever. Let them go wherever they're gonna go. But the point is, wherever they're going, they need to be able to go there healthy, sure of themselves, together amongst themselves. So when they get to wherever they're going, they're not taking baggage and psychological trauma and abuse and all that kind of shit with them to whoever they get to. And then that person, be they gay or not, is irrelevant. They got to deal with that, right? And then they have their interaction, and that goes to shit. And then you got two people going off to new relationships to deal with more unhealed shit in the process. Just keep going and going and going and going and going. So the sexual orientation part is irrelevant on that part. What matters is, are you a healthy, healed, in tune, and aware with yourself before you go and impose your energy into somebody else's life? That's what it boils down to me personally. and that's where I'm going to close off.
That's where you're going to close off.
Next week, we were going to deal with we need each other. Right? We're going to dive into that and exactly what does it mean when we say that we need each other. Not just, men provide and the women. No. Like actual necessity. Like we're not getting to where we're going next as a people at the current rate that we're moving. Like, if we don't fix the disconnect with this is my own little thing. If we don't fix the disconnect within the next 5 to 10 years, we're done. Take a fork in this. We're done. As a people, we're done. If we don't figure this out in the next 5 to 10 years, we're done. Mark my words.
I got hope.
I don't. I got hope for next decade. After the decade, if we ain't got this shit figured out by 2034, nope.
You lucky we wrapping this up because I'd be like, nah, you
Nope.
see that.
Nope. Not
How you
me.
see that?
So yeah, that's it for a couple questions. Episode 3. Well, thank y'all for tuning
Thank you
in.
guys so much.
We'll be back next week. Our usual time is 2 o'clock, not 3 o'clock. We had to push it back an hour.
I got good news, motherfucker. I can wait for my good news.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Share the live, like the live. We on Twitch. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. And now you're there with us. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.